The fluorescent light above the exam chair flickered, just once, yet it was enough to make Elaine flinch as Dr. Marcus Oakley lowered the ultrasound wand, his expression collapsing into something tight and frightened. He didn't speak at first. He only stared, as if the screen had shown him something he wished he could unsee. Then, with a controlled exhale, he set his instruments aside. "Elena," he said quietly, "who treated you before this?" "My husband," she answered, trying to read the doctor's eyes. "Sterling. He's a gynecologist." Oakley froze. His gloved hands hung in the air. Panic flickered behind his professionalism. "You need immediate lab work," he said, voice flat, final. "Because what I'm seeing inside you shouldn't be there." The room felt suddenly smaller, the air heavier. A pressure built behind her ribs, a sense that something had just ruptured, silent, invisible, catastrophic. Her world wasn't broken yet, but it had started to crack. Earlier that morning, her life had felt painfully ordinary. She'd woken to a quiet house, the kind of quiet that always settled when Sterling traveled. She made coffee, stared at the steam rising, and tried to ignore the dull ache twisting through her abdomen. Another reminder of the cycles that no longer resembled cycles at all. She tried to pretend everything was normal. A 42-year-old woman, busy, aging, adjusting. That's what Sterling always said. "You're fine," he'd whisper, brushing her hair off her forehead. "Bodies change. Don't go worrying yourself." She'd believed him. Or maybe she'd wanted to. The first sign something was wrong had come 6 months earlier, the night she'd doubled over on their kitchen floor as if something inside her had grabbed and twisted her from the inside out. Sharp spasms, unpredictable bleeding, pain that felt wrong, like her body was rejecting itself. But Sterling dismissed each symptom with gentle authority, prescribing hormonal meds and suppositories without hesitation. "Trust me," he'd say. And she did. Until she didn't. His recent trip to Atlanta, his mother supposedly ill, opened a single window of possibility. She'd stared at herself in the bathroom mirror for a long minute, hands trembling, before whispering the first act of rebellion, "I'm getting a second opinion." She had walked into Dr. Oakley's office expecting a routine check, a simple explanation, maybe early menopause, stress, something bland and survivable. But Oakley's silence as he reviewed her ultrasound told her this was no simple mystery. Now, sitting half-dressed in the cold exam room, she watched him adjust his glasses, his expression shifting into something even more unsettling. "You said your husband treated you for 5 years?" She nodded. "And what, exactly, did he prescribe?" Her throat tightened. "Pain meds, hormonal regulators, anti-inflammatories. He said he knew my body better than any outside doctor." Oakley's jaw clenched. "Elena," he said, voice low, "those medications don't match what's happening inside you." Confusion swarmed her, thickening into panic. What does that mean? The doctor hesitated, and that hesitation frightened her more than any diagnosis. "It means," he said carefully, "your body shows signs of exposure to substances that should never be administered without strict medical oversight. Substances that, if misused, can damage tissue, alter cycles, cause long-term internal trauma." She felt everything inside her hollow out. Trauma? From what? "That's what we need to determine." "But," he sighed, "parts of your cervix appear chemically irritated. Repeatedly." Her heartbeat thudded in her ears. "Repeatedly? By what?" "That's what the lab work will tell us." She tried to breathe. Failed. Tried again. "Are you saying Sterling caused this?" "I'm saying," Oakley replied, choosing every word with surgical precision, "that what I'm seeing is inconsistent with legitimate treatment." Confusion swarmed her, thickening into panic. What does that mean? The doctor hesitated, and that hesitation frightened her more than any diagnosis. "It means," he said carefully, "your body shows signs of exposure to substances that should never be administered without strict medical oversight. Substances that, if misused, can damage tissue, alter cycles, cause long-term internal trauma. She felt everything inside her hollow out. Trauma? From what? That's what we need to determine. But, he sighed, parts of your cervix appear chemically irritated. Repeatedly. Her heartbeat thudded in her ears. Repeatedly? By what? That's what the lab work will tell us. She tried to breathe. Failed. Tried again. Are you saying Sterling caused this? I'm saying, Oakley replied, choosing every word with surgical precision, that what I'm seeing is inconsistent with legitimate treatment. Her mind buckled under the weight of the implication. Sterling, the man who held her at night, who cooked her breakfast, who promised devotion, now reframed in her mind's eye with a shadow over his face. A shadow she'd never noticed until today. Oakley stepped closer, tone shifting from clinical to urgent. Elena, listen to me. This is serious, very serious. If certain substances were administered without your awareness, your reproductive system could be at risk. Your safety could be at risk. Her breath hitched. My safety? Yes, he said. This isn't just a medical issue. Depending on what we find, it could be criminal. The word lodged in her chest like a blade. He immediately moved into action, ordering blood panels, swabs, scans, instructing the nurse in brisk, urgent tones. The room became a blur of movement, sterile tools, whispered codes. Elena sat frozen, shivering beneath the paper gown. 15 minutes later, Oakley returned with a sealed bag containing samples. He looked graver than before. There's something else, he said. While running a secondary internal scan, I found evidence of long-term foreign substances. Not medication, not anything used in standard gynecological treatment. Her stomach dropped. What do you mean, foreign? I mean, Oakley said, someone has been putting things inside your body that do not belong there. Shock tore through her, hot and electric. He continued, Elena, I'm contacting a forensic medical investigator. This is beyond a routine case. A knock sounded at the door. A woman in a dark blazer stepped in. Detective Mara Klein. Calm, steady, expression unreadable. Mrs. Vaughn, she said gently, I need to ask you some questions. This may constitute medical tampering, possibly assault. Elena's pulse thundered. The walls blurred. Klein opened a small notebook. Has your husband ever administered treatments at home? Yes, Elena whispered. Without witnesses? Yes. Without explanation? She hesitated, and that hesitation was the truth speaking for her. Detective Klein exchanged a loaded glance with Oakley. We're going to need his medical logs, every prescription he wrote. And Elena, think back. Was there anything he gave you that didn't look like medication? Memory sliced into her, Sterling handing her capsules in plain, unlabeled containers. Her breath caught. As they spoke, dots began to connect. Missed periods, sudden fatigue, the way Sterling always insisted on being alone with her during exams, how he dismissed her every fear. Every memory reassembled into a pattern she didn't want to see. Then came the final blow. Oakley held up a printed image from the ultrasound. Elena, this pattern of tissue damage? It shows consistency, intent. Someone wasn't just careless, they repeated the same procedure many times. Her vision blurred. But why? Why would he? Detective Klein closed her notebook. We don't know yet, but we're going to find out. Elena's world tilted violently, her chest tightening with grief, disbelief, dread. She whispered, "What if he comes home early?" The detective's expression darkened. Then, she said quietly, we need to move faster. Outside the exam room, a phone buzzed on the nurse's desk. An incoming call from an Atlanta area code. But it wasn't Sterling's mother calling, it was Sterling, and he was already on his way back.